You'll be okay. Leave the child. And it gets worse. It really gets worse. That child at that moment may actually be wanting to do that thing which you now dictate, go and don't forget to do that. That's a put off. That would be a put off. For most children, it's not for, okay, yes, mom, I'll do it. And I'll be like, what? Did she have to say that? Yeah. Just like me. What? Did you have to insist I have to study this language? No, I'm not studying anymore. Or you finish having your talk. Well, you're walking away and I'm like, wow, your room is so untidy. Don't forget to have it swept. Why? Just go away. You finish solving one problem. You can come back with that for that later. You can, okay, how are you feeling now? Later, that is, how are you feeling now? How's it go? Okay, you feel better now? Okay, all right. Try to throw in some fun things. I'm not one for pampering or indulging children, but then at that point, if the dishes are really this kitchen sink is in a bad shape, you could just if you just manage, if you might be very busy, just sort it out. Okay, I'm not one for pampering or indulging. Or if there are other children, it might not be their turn to do dishes for that day. Okay, come, please, don't worry. Huh? I'll give you some. Take, help me do the dishes. So this young person sees, okay, this young person now gets to see that I have the support of my family, I have the support of my parents, my mother, my father. I have the support. Not that just coming out of that dampened spirit from whatever happened within him and his friends. And then we now go, don't forget to do the dishes. You throw that child back into some dungeon, sorry, in your relationship issues. But then don't worry, okay, just, you okay? You need anything? It's for that moment. It's not forever. It's for that moment. You need anything? Okay. The dishes are there in the kitchen. The sink is. If you don't have if that child is the only child you have, if you are at home, it's another load on your already busy schedule. So just do it. What is likely going to happen is that child, if he already has a mindset, yeah, I know smart, let me go do this. When you do, that child is most likely going to come into that kitchen and see you doing it and say, Mom, leave it out, do it. Because I already had the mindset to go to do it. But for you now to, after helping him or her get out of that mood swing, whatever, and that's okay. Okay, by the way, don't forget to do the dishes. That's a put off for most young people. That's nagging. It was for me. The people who say, oh, study this language now, it has to speak, you have to speak. They were not the ones who, I wasn't compelled to enlist to go study. I loved to study the language. I loved to want to speak the language. But because someone now says, oh, you must do it, I'm like, no, your children are like that. Okay? So we're going to take a break now. Luckily, I understand now that we're back on stream on YouTube. We're back on live on stream. Sorry, live on YouTube now. So we're going to take a break now. You're going to see that video. Then it will help us to talk about this a little bit more. Okay. So see you at the end of the video.
Things parents don't understand. Number one, okay, if I'm playing the game online, I cannot pause the game because there's other people playing live with me. So how am I gonna pause the game if they're playing too? Number two, you ever think, you know what, I'm gonna be a responsible child and I'm gonna do the dishes. And on your way to do the dishes, your mom says, "Hey, yo, make sure you do them dishes." See, now I don't want to do them anymore, because when I do it by myself, I'm thinking, you know what? This could be calming for me. But when you ask me to do it, now I'm required to do it. It's like reading, okay? For all of you that don't know, reading is just as addicting as Netflix is. But the thing is, I don't want to read when the teacher or my parents are telling me to do it, because now it's not fun anymore. Lastly, I cannot stand when I'm in the bathroom and I've only been in there for like 3 minutes and somebody's, "What you in there doing?" Like, what do you think I'm doing in the bathroom? You making a sandwich? Thank you for your time.
Welcome back. Okay. Yeah, you saw the young man in the video picked three issue areas. Okay. If you There are two sides to his position. Okay. It could be that okay, as adults or as parents, you could say, okay, he just doesn't want anybody to tell him to do anything. Well, that's a good way to look at it. It's true to up to a point. But the overriding message there is this: know your children. Know that one that looks for that excuse not to get anything done. Okay? But know that one that will get things done that you do not have to. Now, what are the issues this young man is? First of all, you're saying you want my attention for something. You're saying, okay, pause the computer game you're playing. And his issue is, I'm not pausing the computer game simply because there are other people online playing the same game. So I can't pause the game when I have other people. Hello? To start with, what part of the world are you at? Hmm? Those other people, it could just be a computer bot that you're playing, an artificial intelligence apparatus that you're playing with. Okay? And then the part of the world you are at, the time different, the time different from other parts of the world. So that argument of, oh, other people are also playing, I can't pause so that whether you pause or not, life goes on. Yes, whether you pause that game to go to attend, okay, that's not an excuse. That cannot be an excuse for you not to do, what you need to do. We have a contribution here from a community member. Let's just look at it. Should kids have a safe space outside their parents to confide in, or should parents be their first go-to? Safe spaces are third-party spaces, okay? From the way I understand it here, your parents should be best case scenario. Parents should be your first, and except we're talking about therapists, professionals, not family members or friends or pastors. No, okay, except that professional therapists for specific, health or lifestyle issues. Okay, your parents should be the go-to, not even first, continuous go-to for their children, which is another reason why parents need to know their children, why parents need to have established and sustained the communication relationship between themselves and their children. It should not be between an agreement between the parent and the child. It's okay, we are going to go say social therapist or social person. You agree, depending on whatever the issue is. Okay? If any third party is going to be involved. Because third parties often have their own agenda. Third parties often have their own agenda. So if you now create that space and say, this is my space, I'm free, I can consult somebody, who is that somebody? That you are not able to share with your parents. Maybe you're looking at, well, your teacher in school can work. Don't ask me about pastors. Third-party influences destroy relationships. So you want to avoid third-party influences in any type of relationship, even parent-child relationship, except we are talking about professional advice concerning specific health issues or lifestyle or academic issues. Okay? So stick with your parents, stick with your children. Okay? And parents, if one would not, but that's their mindset. Okay? And here, people are now interpretation. Those people with whom I'm playing that video game are more important to me than my relationship with you or what you do in the family. Wrong. Shouldn't be. That's why you can rewind. That's why you can start it over again. That's why your scores, your life doesn't depend on it. Even if you lose your scores, you can start. Its computer is never ending. Okay. What was the second thing? I was going to, reading is fun. Yeah, I like to read. Reading is fun. But then when you now come to me and say, don't forget to read your book, then it puts me off. Why should you tell me to? Come on. So, that young man doesn't want to do anything. He wasn't interested in doing anything. He's just looking for excuses not to do what he. Yes, there's a certain way of going to read your book, that could be like nagging. But a little prompting, we often ask parents, do you help your children with their homework, with their study, with their education? So a little reminder of, oh, that your project, are you done with it? Shouldn't be something that will make a young man to say, why, I was going to do it anyway, so why did you remind me? Okay. So that's another contribution from a community member. He says, can strict parents still foster open communication, or does fear kill honesty? That's serious. I think we need to, first of all, differentiate strictness from principle, from boundaries. Okay? Principles can be a cocktail of many things, but when we talk about boundaries on the Slow Parenting podcast, we've always said that you need to agree on boundaries with your children. As a family, agree on boundaries for specific issues. Set consequences or rewards for compliance or non-compliance so that everybody knows. So there's no strictness there. If you're enforcing non-compliance for boundaries, it's not a strictness issue. It's an agreement. You agree to, go about it. Okay, if I don't do, it's my turn to do the dishes. If it's your turn to do the dishes, you don't do it, this is what's going to happen. You're not going to get your allowance or whatever. You agree on it. So there's no strictness. Now, but what happens most times is that people want to eat their cakes and have it, including your children. It's only one time. Can't you just overlook that? No, we agreed. If I overlook it for you, I must also overlook it for John. Then we have chaos in the family. That's not strictness. Okay? And then the second part of that question is, or does fear kill honesty? There will be no fear. Fear will not exist if we operate on the basis of setting boundaries, agreeing on boundaries, setting them, and also setting consequences and rewards. Okay? So there will no fear because you already know you did something wrong. You went out for whatever reason, you came back home later than the time agreed on that you should come back home. You already know that. Now, how you handle it will determine, in most cases, what's going to happen next. You get home late, maybe an hour or so, you walk straight to your dad, say to your mom, Dad, I'm sorry. I know I shouldn't be back this time. I'm sorry, I'm late. And you don't make it a habit. I don't think that there are many parents who will say, no, you 1 hour, you came back late, you're good. I don't think so. Okay? But the problem now lies in when you now come back late, say, hey, what's going to happen? It's only 1 hour. You just came, hello, everybody, just go to your room. No, if it won't work, it won't work with most parents. It won't work with my parents. It won't work with my mom. So don't ask about me. It would work with my mom. So if it didn't work with my mom, he could. And it wouldn't work with most parents. That's disrespectful to the boundaries the family had agreed on and set. And you already know the consequences. Sometimes the consequences are set. If you do this and if you didn't do this by this time, this what your punishment or what the consequence is going to be. You come back and say, Dad, no, okay, I know. You go and begin to do that thing. Simple, case closed. There's no strictness there. That's why we advocate that families, parents and their children should operate on the basis of agreeing on setting and enforcing boundaries. So nobody, and it's both parents. It has to be both parents. This is why we keep saying that parenting is a team event, needs to be a team event, needs to remain it throughout the life, time of the parents and their children. So both of you, the couple, you don't speak from different angles on the same issue. Okay? As far as your children are concerned, as far as you can go and have your disagreement, but before your children agree, it's better for your children to accuse you of supporting each other. We know you support her. We know that's what will happen. But not with the children. Not, oh no, John, could you come down, please? Oh, the other one says, oh, John is busy. He's having headache. No. Let John speak for John. Don't be John's mouthpiece. Okay? And outside of that, this is not to say that there are no parents that are just, children are just terrified about their parents. And that fear would not be there if you have worked at initiating and sustaining a communication relationship with the children. The children should be able to approach you and say what needs to be said, but with respect. Okay? At one point, my first daughter, there was an issue. And she went on. She was right in what she was saying, but then the way she was, I'm like, I said, excuse me, young lady. She said, hey, but Dad, you said we should not be afraid of anybody. We should say, I say, yes, I said that. But then, what else did I say? Make your point respectfully. Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah. It doesn't matter whether the person is your age mate or make your points respectfully. Stay on your points, hold your space, but respect the other person's opinion, respect the other person's space, respect the other person's person. Okay? That's another contribution here. It says, my son told me he likes someone at school. I laughed and said, you are too young for that. He never shared anything like that again. Now I wonder, did I teach him not to trust me with his feelings? I'm sure I'm almost sure you already know the answer to this one. Okay. Yes, thank you so much for the question, for the contribution. But unfortunately, you are right. Okay, you bottled, you blocked that lane. Okay, that two-way communication lane. Say, oh no, you're too young. You could say that you're too young could still come out eventually, not in those words, but in why do you like this person? How old is this person? The questions that come up, the engagement that happens First, this child trusts you. That's why the child has come to you to say, oh, mom, I like somebody. Oh, really? Okay. Okay, why do you like this person? Who is this person? How old is this person? Well, you remember you've not graduated. So you remember you still have your schoolwork to do. Okay, well, yeah, you like this person. What exactly do you mean by like it? You go into those discussions so that you can. Most times, parents, you know, get afraid for what there's no fear for. The question or what the child has come to you for is not what you're thinking. Before the child is even able to finish what you already gone, A level, not even PhD level, about what the outcome and okay. I watched a video earlier on today. It's funny, so many crazy things on the social media. Hey, young girl, what's up today? Mom, I'm like, okay, mom, uh, um, I want to stress you. So mom said, yes, go ahead. It's okay. What is it that goes inside and then hard and dry, and then it comes out uh, uh, soft and wet? And the mom was like, wow, what do you mean? Where did you hear that from? What? And the young, it's a girl that asked the question. The girl was like, as the mom was, she was, what? As if she was being flogged. The way the mom was reacting with it, where did you get that from? Who told you that? And then the mom said, okay, you, that you want this quiet answer now. What is it? And the young girl said, chewing gum. And the mom said, oh, yeah, sure, chewing gum. Yes, chewing gum. But the mother was already thinking about something else, which is not what the well, some people listening to me might say the girl was being mischievous. It was actually not trying to work. But the important thing is she said this chingum, so why don't you believe her? So your child has come to say, I have a friend, I like that friend, and you say, no, you are too young for that. You are blocked off that relationship, that communication. Don't do that. It's not helpful. Okay? Keep the door open. You should even be the one to ask when he comes back from school or from on holiday. Oh, how's your friend? How's your friend doing? Yeah. Okay, when is your friend coming to visit you? You get into that world. Okay? Your children would necessarily get into relationship with other people, whether they are males or females. You got into relationship with people before they became your children. Remember, the challenge that most parents have is, we believe and behave as if we dropped from Mars fully grown. We never grew up. Some of the growing up challenges that we had, we somehow believe that our children are immune to them. They can't have them. There are relationship issues that are necessary risk taking that your children must with other people. They must meet and be able to hold their own in conversations, in activities with their friends. Your job is to, during those points of, oh, I like somebody, out wordify. Okay? Clarify. Now, the third point that young man made in that video, well, the whole thing was general, but then the entire backdrop is, don't tell me to do anything because you're telling me to do it will discourage me from doing it. Wrong notion. Wrong notion. Okay? When it comes to the parenting issues, when it comes to our relationship with our parents, then parents know the right time, the right environment, the right child to pass certain kinds of information to within or during time frames. We started at the top of this program talking people had
Recording in progress.
in the next 2 hours. Come on. Okay. Okay. If you could get put off by such interaction, your children, could equally be put off from even wanting to try. So let's know when to say specific things to our children. Specific things to our children. Let's also work at keeping that communication channel. It has to remain two-way. Okay? That mutuality of communication has to be maintained. You make it possible, make yourself accessible as they come to you, okay? Listen and also give appropriate feedback. Don't give feedback if you're not feeling up to responding your own. Say it nicely to the child. Okay, sorry, can we discuss this later? Sorry, can we discuss this later? Do you mind? No, quick, don't worry. I'll certainly, even if I forget, remind me again. Make room for that conversation to continue. Don't lock the door. Okay? No, I don't have time for this right now. There will not be another time. There may or might not be another time. Okay? Oh, wow. Well, why don't you go talk to your dad over that? I mean, I don't have time for those kind of talks. No. Okay? Really? Okay. Well, I need to find out about this. Do you mind? Okay. Can we talk about it later? Yeah. And when you make such promises, please always keep to those promises. If you promise a child you're going to find out about something, find out about that thing, get to share it. If you promise a child that this time is not a good time, can we talk about this later? Let me just round this up. Do you mind? Yeah, cool. Get to call. You can even shift that responsibility. It's okay. Just, in another 30 minutes, 1 hour, or tomorrow morning, let's talk about this tomorrow morning. Just walk up to me. No matter what I'm doing, let me. The child walks up to your head. Mom or daddy, you said I should remind you. Conversation start. Keep to that promise. If you don't, what you said here will happen. And that's where we would end the podcast today. My son told me he liked someone at school. I laughed and said, "You're too young for that." He never shared anything like that again. Now I wonder, did I teach him not to trust me with his feelings? Yes. Okay. Oh, okay. Wow. The magic has happened, friend. Mom, what's the magic? Oh, well, people like people, Yeah. But do you mind we talk about this